one of the things I really, really respect is that he has taken pain in his life and turned it into real possibilities, what God is doing. Thanks for being here, my brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you. All right. Am I in control here? Do I have the clicker? Yeah. We have a video, in case you haven't seen American Ninja Warrior. Here it is. Oh, man. So that's what it looks like. That's what I do. I'm Grant McCartney. They do call me the Island Ninja, which I got to look into changing the name now. They call me that on the show. Don't mind me. Just kind of nervous up here in front of all you guys. I've spoken in front of 12,000 people at Liberty University. Didn't even think twice about it. It's different because you guys are my people. I go around and I speak all over the U.S. I've even gone internationally now. And to get up in front of people and share, I genuinely love it. I really do love getting in front of people and sharing. This one was more valuable to me because I did come here back in preschool. A lot of you guys have changed my diapers. And I'm not kidding. You might not recognize me now, but let's see. Do you recognize that? I mean, let's be honest. Maybe that's who you recognize. That was me. And I had an awesome mullet and pantsuit. I really wish I had that outfit I could wear today. That would be, but here's another one of me in the preschool here, right there hanging out. So I wanted to show those, get maybe you guys laughing or whatever, but to know that genuinely I feel like you guys are my people. You are my loved ones. My family here. I see my friends here, and I am so thankful you guys are here. And I'm not going to look you in the eyes. So if I've learned anything about speaking, is do not look people in the eyes that you love because you will lose it. You'll lose it. And I got some stuff I want to tell you guys, and I can't get too emotional, but it has been an interesting journey for me. I've been on this journey of life that this had some really tough times. It's not been easy. It's not been awesome the whole time. Maybe if you just tuned in the last couple of years, you've seen me doing American Ninja Warrior. That's really cool. 4 years I'm doing this show now. I'm heading to my 5th season. I've done Team Ninja Warrior for 3 years, the Spartan show, Tough Mudder X show for 2 years, the Ellen DeGeneres show, she had me come and be on that. I mean, just crazy opportunities to be on television, which to me all that matters is it's a platform that more people see and recognize me, and then makes me internally reflect and go, okay, well, why? Why, God? Why did you give me this platform? What is your purpose in that? And it's been really interesting. I will say that I think that Central Baptist is the first to know I was a Ninja Warrior because when I was young, my dad used to play basketball. He's already laughing because he knows I'm going to tell a story. They have an awesome basketball center. You guys have a great spot over there. One of the first, I think, if not the very first here in town. Great facility. He played basketball there with his friends and everything. When I was younger, there's a little track upstairs. I kind of play, and then I got a little older, and I'd wander a bit more, and then I got to wander. I got good at wandering, and then I found a shed that leads to the playground roof, which leads to the other roof, which leads to the roof of this building, and I was climbed up there, and it's a beautiful view, by the way. If you ever get a chance to get on the roof, I was like, if I could just get near like the steeple up there and look out, and man, you can see Kingston Pike for so far. It was great until I came down and got in a lot of trouble, but you guys knew first. You guys knew first I was a Ninja Warrior as I got up on that roof and playing. I also wanted you guys to know, too, I did get a degree in marketing, international business and Spanish minor, but I don't have a seminary degree. I do study the Word alone in my house with friends. I took a lot of thought to that, and I don't disrespect that this stage is valuable and important. So I come here in honor, and I thank you guys for having me. That to be said, if I say something wrong, if my theology is off, if I do something that you're unhappy with or whatever, please get all of your complaints together. I really do mean this. Get them all together and email here to Wade and tell him how you feel, because you know what? He's got to deal with it. I'm already up here now. Can't stop it. No. I do that mean genuinely, guys, if there is something off, come to me. Come talk to me. Afterwards, we're going to go over to the Ninja Gym. If you don't know, you guys have a Ninja Gym here now. Kevin Carbone here in the front is one of the other competitors on American Ninja Warrior. He's known as the Maker Ninja, as he makes obstacles for the show. But he is designed, which is not easy to do in a racquetball space, to fit an entire gym with as many obstacles as he has. The youth, you guys were killing it last night. Owen up here saying he was the Ninja Gym was awesome, was so cool, but also he was crushing it. Was able to run up the 14-foot warped wall first try. You guys were not afraid. The youth they're going for it. And I will say, middle school, you guys had more heart than anyone else. So shout out to the middle school. Don't lose that. So you have an awesome Ninja Gym. After this service, we're going to go over there. If you guys want to check it out, just swing through and check it out. We're also going to put on a little show. We're going to have Kevin run the course for you guys, speed course, and we got some other things going on. So please come over afterwards. I know we all want to eat and everything too. So maybe grab some food and come over there, or just come over and right away. But I'd love to show you guys the hard work there, because the vision for that is to reach people, to bring people into this community, just like the basketball court. That's one thing that I go around. I go to a lot of different denominations of Christian churches, and I'm like, man, I think back to this Baptist church, man, they raise funds well, and they utilize that to build something to bring people from the community in. You guys do a really good job at that. And I know that that's time and money invested, so I thank you guys for that, and I hope that's what this is. That this is a place for bringing people that have never, maybe they didn't fit into basketball, maybe they didn't fit into any other sport that's normal, but they got excited about our weird TV show, and this gives them an outlet to come and play. Or our bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit, and I really do genuinely believe that is when I'm healthy, I feel spiritually healthy. So give me a place to come play, and come to mind, you may get in there and get hurt. I mean, it's dangerous, it's tough, but that time of reflection allows me to also get spiritually healthy, even if I'm not physically healthy. So all that to be said, please come over and join us afterwards. That's kind of my little intro for you guys. One of the cool things for me, though, is in my life, I've experienced a lot of things. I've had some really painful time. I've lost a lot of people that I love. And you guys know that. You guys know that because you already know me. That's what's so crazy to me, is like I don't have to go into so much detail. You guys know when I mention my mom, and you guys know her personally. I've had people today come up to me and say, your mom was so beautiful. Your mom was so awesome. I remember when she was in my small group. I remember she is so valuable to me. And I'm just going to make sure I hold back my emotions because I want to share what's more important. But I'm in a journey here. I've been hurt in life. Stuff happens. Guys, we get hurt. The thing is, through Christ, I've been healed. Time, efforts, and energies, scripture, different things have started to heal those wounds so they're not as fresh anymore. I used to not be able to share about any of that. It was just a random call that I got, hey, your mom's passed away, that was it. Then dealing with that, there was multiple people after that had passed away. It was like a season of death, and this is right before American Ninja Warrior. That's where I find myself now, is that healed place where it's not as painful. Those wounds aren't as deep. They're not as fresh. There is some healing there. But through Christ, I'm hoping to get to healer. And I feel like that's what this stage is representing for me, to be back up here, being away, coming full circle and back home here. I'm now at the place of healer because I want through Christ, I want to share. I want to explain to you guys that it is possible to deal with stuff, and grief is real, and pain is serious, and you guys might have that in your own way, but there's a way to experience God in the middle of those stuff. I've dealt with that. I've gotten to healed in a lot of stuff. Stuff isn't as fresh, but I'm also able to share now and become healer, because that's what I believe Christ does. He doesn't just go, okay, yeah, just get over it. Okay, time will heal it. Okay, move on. He makes all things new. He comes in and he makes better. That's his purpose. He doesn't just leave you like you were. He comes fully in and he changes and makes new. That's where I want to be. I don't want to just say, okay, I'm done, I'm healed, okay, whatever. I want to be healed enough to say, I've been through some painful things, and I want to help heal because of that. That is where I found myself when I I like to call God out. I don't know if this is okay or not, but I do it. I go, God, I trust you. I believe you. I read your word, and I believe in its entirety. I know you love me. In my heart, I know that. But when I got the call and found out my mom passed away, I didn't see anything good about that. I searched that moment. I dealt with those feelings, and I was like, there's nothing good in that. Romans 8:28 says he works all things for the good in those according to his purpose and that love him. And I'm going, I love you. I don't see any good in this. How can that be true? I believe you in this, this, and this. I don't believe you in this. You need to make this known to me because I don't see any good. So don't tell me there's something good in this. This right now is the good. It takes time to get to this stage. And maybe that's why it's hard to prepare. Maybe that's the spiritual attacks of the last couple of days. Maybe that's why it's been hard for me to get here, is because this is the good. To be able to get up here and share with you guys the truth that Christ is real and that he loves us and he died for our sins and that he thinks about us in a precious way like that and he goes through the pains and the hurts with us. One of the most beautiful things I remember in dealing with that loss is when Lazarus passed away. Jesus' homie, when Lazarus died, Christ didn't go, okay, come on, you're alive now, come on. He didn't do it like that. He went in and he sat, and first he cried and he wept because I have to believe that he knew it was valuable to feel those feelings like I felt. Christ felt that same way, and he sat in that emotion before he was just to bring him right back to life anyways, but first he felt that emotion. That's how God thinks about us. That's what I want to encourage you guys with today. When I'm getting to this place of healer and working through all this pain, the good in my story, the stuff I was praying for God to show me years ago, is this moment that I can get up and share with people, that I can go around and share my testimony, my story. And my mom, being a believer, if she could have chosen to pass away a day early, knowing that I could reach people to explain to them God's love for them, she would choose that. I know her, and she would choose that. That's the good in this, that people are coming to know God's love through my story and my pain, and also my pain isn't wasted. God doesn't waste the hurt. He does use healing through suffering sometimes. I mean, think about Christ, right? How much suffering that was, but how much healing that brought. That's a part of how he rolls. So I got to know sometimes there's going to be suffering in my life, but it's going to bring healing. And this is the good in that. So I'm blown away, and I'm not a pastor. I have never done these big, prepared speeches, and I'm just praying, God, please work through me. Everyone who knows me is near me. They knew how, I'm just nervous, not because, I don't trust my confidence in the Lord, just because there's a lot of, seriousness to this, and I like to be goofy and fun, and this is truth that I want you guys to know. I was going to wear this pineapple suit today. I had it ready. Josh got me an awesome pineapple suit. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to just entertain today. I don't want to just entertain you guys. I want you to take serious my words. I do want you to have a good time. I really think Nehemiah 8:10, the joy of the Lord is my strength, and that is my life. I live that verse. And I want you guys to have that joy too. And maybe a pineapple suit would bring you that joy. But I don't want you to miss the truth that is God's love that is through the message more than, oh, it was funny, he wore a funny suit. He showed me some funny pictures. So it's just been an interesting journey for me because as I prepared this weeks and weeks ago, it just kept changing. I thought I was going to speak on rest up till yesterday. And I will still. I don't want to change it now, but I thought about it. So the verse that I wanted to talk about is Matthew 11:28, and you guys have maybe read this, I'm sure. Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. That was the focus of my thing. I was going to talk about, I took a week retreat up in Michigan this year. I have so many reasons not to rest, and I'm sure you do too. Training for American Ninja Warrior, I'm training two-a-days for 6 days of the week. I take a Sabbath still. I make it very important to pick one day a week that I do not train. I do not stick to my diet really tight. I just take that day off, and I try not to do anything productive. I know that shocked me when I read that in somebody's their sermon once, and they were like, I do nothing productive. I was like, word? So I hope to also change your idea of a Sabbath day and what rest looks like. But the big thing that stuck out to me in this is the beginning 3 words. Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened. You have to come. You have to do your part in the beginning if you're going to find that rest. Now, this rest is different. It doesn't say, and I don't know the Hebrew. Maybe some of you guys do, and you want to look it up. I don't know the Hebrew of rest, and I was going to do that. I'm like, I'm not going to pretend like I know all the different languages, and because I don't, okay? From my English reading, it says, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. It doesn't say, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you sleep. It's not... sometimes we think, oh man, I'm so tired, I just need to rest. And yes, there's this physical rest that we need. But what hinders that is that there's certain things that we don't get that rest during. And my first thought is mothers. All my mothers in here, if you're breastfeeding, I think about this for my sister who has my new niece and nephew, which is awesome to be around. She is up all the time breastfeeding that child. And she is just busy. The child wakes up, she's up all the hours. She's getting no rest. But again, remember, I'm in the business of calling God out on what he said. And if he said, come to him, he can give me rest, well, he's got to be that. That's got to be true for her. In the middle of, she needs to feed that child. She can't just go, no, I'm just, baby Jack, I can't feed you right now. I need some rest, right? Like, that has to still be true for her. So then we have to think about what that rest looks like. When God brings this idea of rest, it's different than sleep. It's different than just like you're tired, you need to relax, which is a part of it sometimes. I'm not trying to negate that if you're not sleeping enough, you should start sleeping more. I get that there's times in life, though, that that's not possible. Even 2 nights ago, we lost someone, again, in our family that I found myself up late at the hospital and thinking, I need to be resting for this sermon. This is what I'm speaking on. But I am not going to miss being here with my family during this time either. And in that, how do I find rest? Well, this verse also came to mind. Psalms 46:10, be still and know that I'm God. That part of being still describes what it looks like for me to find rest. I have to choose to go to him in times where I need the rest, when I feel it, if I'm feeling tired, and anywhere, at any time, during anything, I can sit, I can pray, I can block out, and I can just go, okay, God, I'm hurting. Okay, God, this is what's going on. Okay, God, I come and I'm still. Even if everything around me isn't still, I can still be still, know that he is God, and I receive from him that rest. That's the encouragement towards rest I want you guys to find, and you can find that during a bigger picture thing of like a day of Sabbath. When you take a full day, knowing that day, just get a sip of water real fast. This is my first time here. Just a little excited. On a Sabbath day of rest, I plan out that rest. I know that full day is a restful day for me. In a day like that, you can set apart time and know that I'm going to do this to be still. On my week of rest, I was up in Michigan, very thankful. I had been doing camps and clinics all across the United States. I just did 4 or 5 camps in a row, speaking to all these kids. It was great. It was super fun, but I was exhausted because being in front of people, it tires you, and I love to be in front of people, and I was just learning that. And so I talked to my manager, and I was like, hey, I'm just, I got to go to Australia to compete in Australian Ninja Warrior competition, And she's like, you know what, I think we should plan a week for you in Michigan instead. And I was like, I didn't want her to be right, so I was like, well, I'll pray about it. I knew right away she was right. I was like, and I thought, okay, she planned up this event. I had a week off. All I planned to do was read, write, and work out. So I want to encourage you guys with some stuff. This is, again, how my whole plan of what I was going to share with you guys changed. I read 2 books, and I'm not even going to talk about them, all right? So you can see the titles here. You can read them if you want. But this book, Gary Thomas has, it's called Sacred Pathways. Maybe you've read it before. He's got these 9 different ways, and they're not the only ones, but I went with a pastor through these things before my retreat so that I could think about the ways I experience God and then make sure daily during this week of rest I was seeking him. A very easy one's at the very top, nature. People going out in nature, we see God's beautiful artwork. We recognize him in that. We can experience him through that. That might be an easy one for a lot of people. But through this list, there's other ones that actually stirred me up. Being young, being a millennial, like there's some times where I'm like, tradition is so not Christian. Like we always do this, we wear this, we say this, we read these old prayers, we sing these old things. And I used to think that that's like not Christian. So I'm speaking to the youth here and the younger generation, because traditionalists in here, that is very much a godly thing. Think about the Old Testament. There's old things that he just says, this is how I roll. I have a way of doing things. Advent season around Christmas, that's a traditional thing that God is excited about. There's certain traditions that God honors. So I thought, wow, okay, that's not mine, but that's cool to know that God gets excited about those. Another one that I related to, if you get down to enthusiast, worship for me. Worship when I just dive into that and I fully come to him, and I'm amazed. I see him for who he is and how he loves me, and I genuinely see him as like, oh my goodness, you're amazing. Also that tied in with miracles and things that happen that you're just like, wow, right? I experienced God through those things. Some of you may find caregiving, doing things for somebody else, which doesn't seem like a rest day kind of thing, to go serve somebody. And again, maybe it's not for you. These are your things to figure out, because it needs to be restful on that day. But know that you can experience God through these different things here. Intellects, maybe studying the Bible and memorizing it and witnessing your whole life to other people. Contemplatives, just sitting and adoring God. Like the solitude one up there too blew my mind, to think just the aesthetics, to sit still and be calm and to have simplicity in life. Those are just a couple things. If you want to read about Gary's book here, it's great. It really helped me in this week. But that week, the reason why I want to encourage you guys into a week of rest or a day of rest or any kind of rest that you can find is because he meets you there. And I prayed for him. I said, God, coming into it, one silly story on the way in, I just thought it was awesome. I prayed a couple weeks before. I was like, God, I remember looking at the stars up in Michigan once, and I saw stars from one side to the other. I saw the Milky Way. I want you to do that again. Just do that, because I'm coming to Michigan. I'm canceling all my plans. And I don't know, this is how I talk to him. So you got to do something, right? You need to do something. I'm doing all my end. You need to do that. I need to know you're there. First day I get out, and I was in this huge home that someone offered for me to stay in. I was alone. I was in the lake, and it was beautiful. And I went outside, and they had a hot tub, and I just sat there and looked up at the stars, and I could kind of see it was really pretty. And I was like, oh my gosh, he answered that prayer. And I went inside and I cut off all the lights. And I went back outside, and it was just brighter than ever. And I was like, I feel like he's here with me. I feel like he answers my prayers and he hears me. And in that I go, okay, well, if you're here then, I got some questions for you. And I started running through these questions in my mind, and man, and I don't know if this happens for you guys, but sometimes I start to ask a prayer or a question in prayer, and he answers it, and he's like, you already know the answer. And I'm like, okay, no, I got another one. I think that, oh, no, you didn't know that one. And I was like, he was answering all these questions before I could even ask him, and I was like, think of a simple one. You're simple, Grant. Be simple-minded. The thing is, God is very clear. If you're confused in something, push past that, because God is not confusing. The devil can be very confusing. We can be very confused, but God is not confusing. So I go, okay, God, I am simple-minded. This is how you have to talk to me. I'm looking at your stars. I remember a couple years ago looking up and seeing a shooting star in Michigan. I want to see a shooting star. In that, I have a question for you. Simplest question I can think of, do I do American Ninja Warrior again this season? I love doing it. I genuinely do like competing, but I think that I could be doing a lot of other stuff too. And if he calls me to something else, then right on. If not, I want to put all my effort into it. So I say, God, am I doing this again? You have 10 seconds to tell me. I'm dead serious, you guys. I'm dead serious. You have 10 seconds to tell me, and you have to tell me because you'll show me a shooting star. I'm reasoning. I'm not even reasoning. I'm just telling him, this is how you're going to do it. I'm seeing the hot tub. I think this image is so ridiculous now. I'm like in the hot tub, like, show me a shooting star. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3, right on 3 1,000. And it wasn't big. It wasn't like this, like, whoa. It was this tiny little scoot that went by. And it just reminded me about how God sometimes speaks in like the quiet moments. In that moment, I wasn't like, okay, yes, time to go train. I laughed out loud. I spilled over with laughter because God loves me in that way. He hears me exactly how I need to hear. I'm not complicated. I told him, God, this is it. This is how I can't confuse it if you do it this way. And I'm sorry I'm not more complicated. He didn't have to, but he did it exactly how I asked him to, and he answered my prayer. 3 nights ago, I got the call for American Ninja Warrior this season, so I'm stoked to be heading back out. It's a reminder that, yeah, I guess I'm doing this another season. And he answered that prayer. But when we take that rest and we step back, he will meet us. And he'll meet us in the ways that we need him to. He'll meet us in ways far deeper than we thought. I was getting dreams twice a night. I'd wake up at 3:30, write one down, go back to bed, have another one. They were dreams about future things. They were dreams for other people. There was books and things that I was reading. I was painting in the mornings. There's something to me about waking up and painting that I'm like, if God is the creator of everything, I should be able to experience him through creating as well. And I try to just paint and just spend time painting whatever he had for me. I want you guys to have that kind of rest. And maybe some of you already have that rest. And if you do, then be that voice that my manager was to me, to someone who does not seek enough rest. Help them get there. Help them, angle them into a place to where that has stirred me up to be here and to grow and to share more and more things. So even helping someone else seek rest is something you can do if you're one of those ones who are getting rest. I don't know if you guys are or not, but I'm hoping somebody's getting some rest. So yeah, I'm in the business of calling God out when I hear something, and he has a way of backing it up. He is faithful to what he says he's going to do, so I've just started really coming at him with stuff. And I hope that's how you guys see him today when he's talking about, come to me all you are weary, and I'll give you rest. I hope that you just do your part in that you start by coming to him. There's a lot of ways once we get to him that you can experience him. We've gone through those. This is another book that I'm not going to even share about, but hey, read it if you want to. It's a great book by Adam Mabry, The Art of Rest. It just move on, all right? Just read that later if you want. But the idea is that he reminds us that we're forgetful people. And in the Old Testament, there's so many times God comes and says, remember when I saved you from, remember the battle that and they're like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you saved our entire generation. Like we forget that he does that. And so I want you guys to take this rest so that you can remember who he is. That when we take that rest, and again, honor the Sabbath, definitely pick a day of the week to take that fullness of rest, but don't forget that you can find rest right now. You can find rest in the middle of a painful time, a hurtful time. You can find it in the middle of a busy time if we just come to him. And that's what I want you guys to take away from today. And so, all the books aside, all the things I read, that's the genuine heart I have for you guys. If you do not know that Christ is a real being, that God sent his son in a human form to die for us, that is the root of what my belief stands on, and that's how I understand how much he loves me. I understand that I am sinful, that I make dumb choices, and that I'm even here is a big answer to the fact that I am redeemed by him. If you do not know that, I encourage you today to come to believe in that. It's not some super tricky thing. It's choosing to believe. God sees our hearts. So whether you want to raise your hand or do it doesn't matter as much as you decide in your heart that you want to believe, that you choose to believe Christ died for you. Wade's going to come up here, and we're going to play a song kind of to finish things up. But I want to have this space open. If you want to come forward to pray with him, or to choose to believe, or even ask questions about what that means, what it means to believe in Christ as your Savior, and to know what it is we believe as a community of Christians, but what it is they're doing here at Central Baptist. And it's been my honor to be up here with you guys. One of the big things for me has always been worship. Worship is how I find my rest in God. And I was sitting right here in tears thinking, please stop crying, Grant. You got to get up and speak. But worship is my place of where I see him so clearly. I can literally think back. Alan Ramsey's here, my youth pastor, and when I decided to believe at a camp when I was young, the big thing that changed for me was not this, like, I chose to believe in Jesus and I floated off to the heavenly places.
worship right after was so different. It wasn't a song I was just singing anymore. It was an understanding and a full envelopment of who God is and how much he loves me. That's why I come to him in worship to find him most. And that's why I find him in rest there. And that's why I cry. Because it is heavy to understand the creator of everything loves me that much. And so this last song I just kind of want to end with, How Great Thou Art. It's just a reminder to me how great our God is.